Smack they ass. Come on, bro. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Come on, bro. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Come on, bitch. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Yeah, they wildin' in this bitch. They throwing shit. I better watch out.
Fuck the police!
Look at him, yes sir. I better watch out.
Fuck the police!
Look at this bitch.
Fuck guys!
Look at this bitch throwing that shit. Watch out, bro.
Already, Shalom, Israel. Let's start by giving all glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. And my brother Moan from down to Florida from the camp troubles in Babylon. Come one of the court kid to the Smith Power by Shem Shine. Lord wanted to edify and feed the sheep. Devil arms said I was an apostle, give me a song, teach you well. Peace and blessings to the brothers who are pushing this work, interest, sincerity. To this guy, the bride. And all right, and you can see, all right, in the video, all right, you got it over there where these ICE agents, were pretty much getting attacked, all right, by these residents, all right, within the Chicago South Side or East Side, okay, neighborhood, man, which is showing you that, these, Northern Kingdom itself, man, is starting to take actions in their own hands, all right, which this is all, a part of the script, man, all right, this is all part of what Esau wants when it comes to all hell breaking loose, all right, in these times, man, because we're in some dangerous and serious times, all right, and Esau's looking for, all right, a way to stir up pretty much martial law, man, all right, and he's already put certain things into effect, but right now, all right, we're looking at the first stages of it, man, okay, and they already have, Northern Kingdom, okay, already amped up and in a state of, to rebel against those authorities, man. All right, and this is more and more of a daily situation, okay, that's growing to get worse, man. All right, and you seen it, they already came for Jake, you so-called Negroes, all right, even the so-called Haitians, all right, which showing you that they're not slowing down, man, when it comes to them coming down with the hammer. All right, Esau, even the so-called white man, is not joking around or taking this time lightly. All right, just like he's not taking his time lightly like you niggas are, man. All right, he's cracking down. Okay, and I want to grab a few precepts just going into it. Just put my spiritual two cents on this, man. Lord, when this is edifying, because we're in a time where Esau is just about to, jack up all you jakes that's just been running loose, man, running wild, so to speak. All right, like these YNs, man. Okay, it's just about to get real bad for you. All right, Jacob's trouble. We're in a time like that's never been before, and you about to experience, all right, a terrible, you're about to experience something terrible like no other, man. Okay, for lack of better words. But this is an article. I'm gonna read a little bit of this article and grab these scriptures, but it just goes into it. It says ICE is cracking down on Chicago, all right, and this, these Chicago residents are fighting back, all right, and it goes into this article, which is in the New York Times, and it reads, it says, residents have begun forming volunteer groups to monitor their neighborhoods for federal immigration agents. It says others honk their horns, and it says, or blow whistles when they see agents nearby. So, you got these residents, man. Okay, these, Jakes, really these, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, is coming together and saying, to hell with these, ICE agents coming in our neighborhoods, and coming together and doing something to pretty much alert or the nearby neighborhoods of these devils coming, man. All right, and that's ultimately how Jake get down, especially Northern Kingdom, man. You're not gonna really see too much of that with Jake. All right, niggas just can't get two dollars together, man. Jake just be going at each other's throats. But more so in Northern Kingdom, man. Okay, you got Issachar, you got Manasseh, you got Ephraim. All right, you got the Northern Kingdom that they'll come to agreements. All right, they'll come to the common sense to try to alert one another, man, on like Jake, man. All right, so that's what's going on, because you see it more so taking place with Northern Kingdom, where they coming for the so-called illegal immigrants, man. All right, whether you want to illegal aliens or whatever, they coming for Northern Kingdom, man. All right, this is what they doing, and it's only going to spread to you Jakes. All right, which we already seen the process of that when they came down on the that neighborhood. Okay, and they hopped out that helicopters. They showed you that that was their inward thoughts and intentions, man. Okay, it says jumping down, it says federal agents deployed tear gas on Chicago residents and more than a dozen police officers on Tuesday, the latest clash in the nation's third largest city, as the Trump administration has carried out its immigration crackdown. The clash began on Tuesday morning when federal agents were seen chasing a car through a working class, heavily Latino neighborhood on the city's far south side. It says witness said an SUV driven by the federal agents collided with a car they were pursuing. It said the Chicago Police Department said sending that car into another vehicle that was parked nearby. So they pretty much caught up with them. All right. It says after the crash, dozens of additional immigration agents en masse arrived, and residents emerged from their houses, gathering on the streets and sidewalks, throwing objects at agents and shouting, "ICE, go home." All right, which shows you that we're in the times of seeing more and more Jake, revolting and fighting against these agents, man. Even National Guard. See, like we said before, these devils want to pursue Jake enough to where they gonna end up using that sword, man. Okay, you seen they had those rubber bullet guns, so to speak. Okay, they had that. They were shooting, they'd be shooting Jake and lighting off those kind of ammunition. All right, but they about to use real live ammunition, man. All right, this ain't gonna be no rubber bullets and no paintballs or whatnot, man. This is gonna be real live ammunition being used, okay, ammo, and being reloaded and unloaded, man, on you Jakes. Okay, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to attack in a more violent way. Okay, and that's why they have these National Guards or ICE agents being deployed into these different neighborhoods and cities, all right, and states, man, because Trump is, this devil's already setting things in motion, man. Okay, and he's gonna use you niggas, man, to do it. All right, he know how to provoke you. Jake don't, Jake don't know how to, sit there and let shit just happen in front of him. And that's what Esau knows. Okay, he know you're gonna speak up and retaliate to these police officers and agents, doing Jake wrong or even Northern Kingdom, man. All right, and that's what he wants. Okay, but going to grab the scriptures, it says, I'll grab Revelations 12:12. It says, Revelations 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. All right, this is ultimately seeing these things in the process of, how it's going, man. It's exciting to us brothers, man, because we know this is a part of prophecy. We know that this is a part of all hell breaking loose amongst the society itself in America, man. All right, because this place is through. All right, it doesn't got that much longer before all hell start breaking loose and shit going left, man. Okay, we already seen the uprising of people. We're seeing the sedition, the civil unrest. Okay, we're seeing more and more of earthquakes. All right, and this is all taking place around the world. All right, little than to it being here in America, it's only going to escalate, man. Okay, so we're only in the state of sitting back and watching and giving all glory and praise to YAHAWASHI. All right, and the Lord's hopeful elect man is going to do that. Okay, that elect man, they're going to rejoice. All right, it says, woe, meaning destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath. All right, and this is what's going to only get a lot more aggressive in these coming times that we're in when it comes to these agencies, man. All right, or these agents, all right, these damn ICE, all right, guys who are patrolling throughout the streets, man. It's only going to get worse. All right, call it what you want to call it, but these devils are going to start to crack down. All right, and they're going to start pulling you out your houses. All right, they're going to start gathering you up. They're going to start showing you, they can care less about your rights or so-called rights, and whatever. They're going to start showing you the draconian laws, man. All right, being established, starting with their head honcho, this cruel lord. All right, that's ruling right now, man, Trump. All right, they're going to show you that they don't care about what you want to unite with your family. They ain't gonna care about what you trying to get a good night's rest. All right, if you're hungry, all right, if you're starving, whatever, they don't give a damn about that. They're about to start to show that. They're just looking for the time and the right moment to attack. Okay, and that's what Esau's doing, man. It says, for the devil has come down onto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he have but a short time. And ultimately, that's what it is, because he know that he have but a short time. All right, we know that this devil's running out of time, man. That's why we're seeing more and more of these things, all right, pop off, all right, when it comes to according to prophecy, man. Okay, because we know that Esau is only you're looking for that opportunity, all right, to seek. All right, he's just sitting back, man, right now. All right, you jakes are leading him to where he wants, especially when you got them out, you got Issachar out there, Northern Kingdom, predominantly out there acting a fool, man. All right, he's just waiting for it. All right, and then it doesn't have to just happen in one area. It has to happen in multiple areas, so it can be more worldwide. So it can be a worldwide announcement, something that's extreme. All right, and that's what he's taking. Taking the, like the scripture say, like a crouching lion. All right, looking, for his prey, roughly paraphrasing. That's what he's taking the opportunity to sit, and he's waiting for it before he attacks. We know this, man. The scripture says, for we're not ignorant of his devices, man. Okay, and it's going to take a lot of our people. It's going to catch a lot of them off guard when he comes with it. Just like when, when it comes to this, digital ID, and when it comes to ultimately that RFID see up, man. All right, let me see. Scripture came to mind. Okay, just going into it. I believe 2nd Ezra chapter 9. All right, when he reads verse 1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And how do we do that? By watching. Okay, when it comes to these scriptures, man. All right, when we read what is coming to life, man, we seeing it, man. All right, project right before us. All right, prophecy is just happening right there, and we're tying it with watching in the news and the things that's taking place. What we're seeing. Okay, this is all part of what's as the scripture says, measuring the times diligently in itself. All right, tying it back with these scriptures, it says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people and the world. All right, we're seeing that, man. Okay, let me see. There was a earthquake that just recently happened. Let me see if I can type it up. All right, and this is all happening simultaneously. Every time you get up in the morning, you're seeing judgment. You're seeing some type of death, or you're seeing some type of catastrophic thing taking place, and it's just happening more and more frequently here. Last one, it was the Philippines, man, a 7.4. All right, and before that, it was another one. It's a 5.9. Okay, and it just continues to go on, and that's just in October itself. All right, another one was at 6.0 in the Philippines. So these earthquakes, these people are just retaliating and revolting to their government, or the sedition and all these things is just happening all around the world. Okay, so there's no way you can refuse or you can try to get around it. All right, when it comes to these scriptures, man, this is how the Lord is setting the record straight, all right, so to speak, man, because it's only going to go much further into Esau really seeing the downfall of his kingdom. All right, what the Lord's doing, man. Lord's got a lot more in store, for you devils, all right, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American as well, man. Okay, because Jake have fully depended on Esau and the so-called white man. Let me see. Let me see some more on that. I'll read it again. It says, 2 Ezra 9 and verse 3. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, verse 4, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, and this is already been stationed. Everything has already been stationed, man. Everything has already been already set up. All right, from YAHAWASHI, man. Okay, so everything is playing out. It's just all according to what the Lord ordained it to take place on earth, man. As the scripture says in Ecclesiastes, I believe the 3rd chapter. All right, where there's a season, there's a purpose for everything. All right, under the heavens, man. All right, and this is just another episode according to what needs to take place here on this earth, man. It says, I'm gonna grab one more, and then we close it out with that. This is in 2nd Ezra. All right, going into these civil unrest and chaotic situations, man. It's only gonna let me see. It's only going to cause more chaos. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting off at the 14th verse. All right, and it reads, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right, woe meaning what? Destruction, man, death. All right, the list goes on. Verse 15, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what you're seeing, man. All right, when you see these things happen in Chicago, all right, when you see it happen in California, or even Washington, okay, when you see it happen in these just major known cities, man, okay, even states, okay, just know that You know, it's all a part of, you know, as the scripture says. You know, these people are going to start, you know, to, you know, be very or very against these authorities. All right, they're going to start being very against the ways of, you know, what's taking place. All right, when you know, look at, you know, these things with Trump and how he's been pretty much, you know, moving, man. All right, these draconian laws and the ways that they're just against what people quote unquote say their rights. You people ain't gonna be going for that no more, man. All right, you're gonna have civil unrest, a civil war, or a racial war. All right, and you see that continuing to get worse here too as well. All right, a lot more Jacob's not tolerating Esau and his BS, and then you see what Esau, you know, doing when you know, when it comes to that sword, man. He just letting fire off, man. All right, I was watching this video of Jake who was, you know, trying to get into the line, and Esau wouldn't let him get into it, and they end up getting over and getting into some road rage, and you know, the guns was drawn. Okay, and he ended up shooting the Jake, man. All right, which shows you that you know, Esau is just about to start, you know, he's about to just start you know, relying back on that gun, man. Like he's always been. Okay, he's been trying to just put it up and put it in the closet, so to speak. But these devils about to start reaching in that closet and grabbing that hammer. All right, and putting it to use on you niggas, man. Especially these YNs. So, hey, you know, all hell's about to break loose anytime now, man. All right, and all that, you know, all that, you know, doing whatever you want, all that, you know, just living how you was living before is all about to change. Okay, these devils are about to crank it up a notch, man. All right. It says, reading it again, I'll read it again. It says 2 Ezra 15 and 15, for the sword and destruction, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? And as I said, you know, they're going to be fighting against one another. You know, it's all going to be a big old clash, okay? It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, once again, that's what you're seeing right now. These people, all right, you know, Northern Kingdom, you know, predominantly, as it said in the neighborhood, the Latinos are coming together, and they were doing what? They were standing up against those authorities. Okay, they was standing up against those ICE agents, man. They was, oh, no. You know, Esau out there throwing tear gas, trying to back them up. Okay, and they were, you know, out there revolting more and more. You see? It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, and that's the times, you know, we're entering, man. Okay, where you're not going to be able to go to this city or the next town or even the state when it comes to these intersections or even private ways, man. You're not going to be able to get to there, all right, because Esau's going to have it, you know, being patrolled, man. All right, he's going to have it being, you know, with his troops, you know, making sure that, you know, what comes in and what goes is all according to, you know, what they got going on. So you ain't gonna be able to just leave the city, leave the town, leave the state, man. You know, it's all gonna be on restriction mode, okay? And it's not gonna be a pretty sight, because millions of people, all right, American people, man, they're used to just coming and going, leaving when they want, please, as they, you know, they leave as they please, man. You know, that's just about to end, all right, and that's gonna cause a lot more of chaos throughout the cities. It says, verse 18. All right, it says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, which is going to be terrifying out here, man. Okay, it ain't going to be a pretty sight. It ain't going to be something that you could just, you know, walk yourself through and get through this thing smooth sailing, man. Nah, You know, it's going to be a terrifying thing. Even grown men are going to be afraid. Like I said in Jeremiah 30:7. Okay? It says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. Once again, you know, that's what we're about to be seeing, man. All right. We're about to be seeing, you know, the love of many wax cold. All right. No one's going to care about their loved ones or care about, you know, their neighbors. Ain't going to be no gathering. It's going to be a great starving of hunger. It's like it. Okay. It's going to be a great, it's going to be a great starving of food and people, you know, being in great fear and all right in a state of you know, all hell breaking loose. It's just going, like the scripture says, great tribulation, man. Okay, so you know, with that, you know, the point is, you know, the times that we're coming into, man, is it's gonna lead to you niggas gonna get right or gonna get left, man. All right, and that's what Esau's waiting on. All right, and all this, you know, standing up and fighting and you know, doing all that, man, it's only gonna just provoke this devil to show his true intentions, all right, that he's been storing for so long for you niggas, man. But that was the point, you know. Once again, the Lord, when this lesson was edifying to Akim Akwa to seek and know the truth and sincerity. Once again, double honor said I was an apostle, great MILLSTONE, teacher one. Till next time, I say shalom.